Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 4 of Beer vs. Ivy. I'm your co-host, Signing Saul, brought to you as always with my amazing co-host, Jackson Gross. Jackson, you know what day it is. It's Monday. How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a fairly nice weekend. Spent yesterday instead of watching the Bears for once. Spent the day watching a whole bunch of MCU movies with my brother. I think we got through Iron Man 3, the first Avengers movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. So it was just kind of nice, even though the Bears ended up winning big against the Raiders, which is just funny. It was just kind of nice to have a good, nice, quiet weekend. Played a lot of new pinball. Our family bought a Star Wars pinball machine, so that has been a lot of fun to play. It's a digital one, like it has like the big machine and everything, but it's still digital. So that's been a lot of fun. The only downside is I had one layout where I got over 100 million score and it didn't save. So I'm kind of sad about that. But
Man, okay, that's crazy. But I haven't heard somebody play pinball in like forever, so I find that kind of interesting. But
yeah,
sounds like you had a
shout
pretty
out
good
to
week.
Yeah, shout out to Costco. Shout out to Costco for having a Star Wars pinball machine. But,
Shout out Costco. I love that.
but yeah, how are you doing, Sai? How was your week?
My week has been hectic. Over the weekend, I found myself in Iowa City at the Iowa versus Minnesota game,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt the 5 stages of grief as a sports fan because if you haven't seen this game, it was a national televised game, and Iowa should have won off a punt return touchdown. However, Big Ten refs are Big Ten refs, and they're kind of subpar at their job, and they made a very bad call. But I'm not going to get into that because that's football and this is baseball. But hey, outside of that, it's Monday. I'm doing good. I got a little vacation that's coming up this weekend I'm looking forward to. So, yeah, all good over here.
Doing anything fun or just trying to relax? Because isn't this like midterms time or something?
Don't have midterms in any of my classes. It's more or less just a 2-3 exams I have to do for each of them. But I got a big exam coming up Wednesday. But outside of that, smooth sailing.
All right, that's sounding good. But safe to say, as we'll switch over to baseball and all that kind of good stuff, it has not been smooth sailing for any of the 4 teams
Oh, it is not.
in this league championship so far. But we have to start with the Battle of Texas, and that being the best words in sports. Game 7 tonight in Houston. The Max Scherzer on the bump for the Rangers. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Christian Javier will be on the mound for Houston. This has just been a weird series overall because I believe the home team has not won a game in this series at all. Texas obviously took the first 2. Houston, and then the Astros came back and took the next 3 in Arlington. So is it finally going to break? Are the Astros going to finally win a home game, or is everything going to keep up and we're going to see the Rangers in the World Series for the first time in 12 years?
See, I think the trend stays with how both teams are playing extremely well. That's why we got to a game 7. But the Rangers have it in them. I truly believe. Mad Max is on the mound. Christian Javier, like, yes, he's good, but he hasn't necessarily had the greatest postseason. And, well, a home team hasn't won yet. So I feel like it's going to stay. Rangers in 7. Mad Max is going to shove tonight. And Rangers will be back to World Series for the first time in 12 years, which is crazy that it's been that long for them. But I have no other words. The Rangers got that dog in them.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting. Just be simple fact, and I did look it up. Christian Javier is actually having a really good postseason. He's 2-0. He's pitched 10 2/3 innings, a 1.69 ERA. 2 strikeouts per walk. So he's had a pretty solid
That's actually
postseason,
not that bad.
but it's Mad Max. Obviously, he had the stinker. I think that was in Game 3 in Arlington. His ERA is over 11 for this postseason
It's like
because of
11.27. Like,
that.
ugh,
2, I think. But
close enough.
I don't know. This has just been a truly entertaining series. There's just so many really good star players. You got Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez, Justin Verlander, obviously Max Scherzer, Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi, I think if Texas wins, I think Nathan Eovaldi should be ALCS MVP. Like the fact he saved them from elimination and he gave them. Did he pitch game 1 or game 2? I can't remember. I think it was game.
I believe he pitched game 2.
Okay.
Or they had Montgomery go game 1.
Yes. Okay. So and basically sent them to Arlington with a 2-0 lead after working out of a bases loaded, no out jam without giving up any runs. So yeah, it's gonna be tough because they obviously used Eovaldi last night. And so he was not going to be available if Scherzer struggles. So you may see a Jordan Montgomery probably come in because this is the season at this point.
This is the season, but I don't.
Maybe
think
Dane Dunning comes in.
Maybe, but I don't think Montgomery is going to be needed. If for any reason Max Scherzer struggles, I can see Dane Dunning coming in. Andrew Heaney only went 2/3 of an inning before he got pulled in game 5. So they have Heaney is fresh. If he needs to eat a couple innings, he eat a couple innings. But I don't think it's going to be needed. But I'll get into that later.
And thanks to our guy, our boss MJ, who is behind the scenes right now. He just told us that Nathan Eovaldi is 4-0 with a 2.42 ERA this postseason. So definitely, again, ALCS MVP. If the Rangers
quality starts,
to move on.
He has had a quality start every single time he has pitched so far this postseason. So, the definition of a workhorse, the definition of reliable. I hope Texas wins for the fact that Eovaldi can get another trophy to his collection.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for his sake. But we've been talking a lot about Nathan Eovaldi. We kind of barely brushed over the guy who's going to be starting tonight in Game 7 with Max Scherzer. You probably have a better idea than I do. What went wrong with Max Scherzer in Game 3? Do you think it was just kind of rust, or what was going on?
I think Russ was half of it. This was his first start in many months because he was on the IL, didn't really pitch that much in the regular season because of injuries. But a lot of his pitches were falling flat. His fastball cutter wasn't really doing what it should be. And kudos to the Astros. They were on. They were locked in. It was Game 3. They were down 2-0. They knew that the bats had to come out in order for them to get back into this series. And that's exactly what happened. So now that Scherzer, he's had that game. He's got his notorious bad start out of the way. Now he's in here Game 7. He's in here with this mindset of it is truly do or die. I have to be at my best. I have to be aged like fine wine. And Texas brought him in there to be that ace. He is where Jacob deGrom should be. So, but Scherzer is used to that big time. He's used to that spotlight. He knows the pressure. He understands the pressure. When there's pressure, he is at his best. Yes, Scherzer has not been great this year. Yes, he's been injured, but seems like on, off, like flipping a light switch. But it's the postseason. It's Game 7. He's pitching this game for a reason. Because think about it, they could have started Montgomery on short rest. They could have won a bullpen game. They could have had a Heaney-Dane Dunning combo. No. Max Scherzer Game 7. This is what he's brought in to do. And he will shove.
Yeah, and I mean, like we've seen a lot of like stinker postseason starts this year. Grayson Rodriguez. Clayton Kershaw. Basically, the entire Dodgers starting rotation had a bad one. So yeah, I think, and honestly, Scherzer's start wasn't as bad as I was initially thinking it was. I mean, 4 innings, 5 runs. Yeah, not great. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. So obviously not what you want from a guy you traded for the deadline and sent a fairly significant prospect for. Um, so it's interesting, and yeah, like we've been talking about, Scherzer has a 3.8 ERA in 137 innings in the postseason, 3.2 strikeout per walk ratio. Like he's good. He's damn good in the postseason. So he's a World Series champion, and he was part of that great pitching staff with in Washington that somehow included Patrick Corbin as a good pitcher at one point in time. Future Oakland A for salary dump.
I don't think the Nationals could do that, honestly, but I think that would be quite ironic that Patrick Corbin would become the A's biggest contract.
But
Speaking into existence. I like this.
But yeah, anyway, I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously, it's Battle of Texas. The first time we've seen it this postseason, or first time ever in the postseason. 7:03 start Central Time, 8:03 Eastern Time. Like again, Max Scherzer versus Christian Javier. We've seen this matchup before. Obviously, in Game 3, Javier came out on top, pitched 5 2/3, had a really solid start, but see if he can repeat and see what Max Scherzer can do. So it's gonna be fun. This has been a fun series that we were all anticipating. The fact that we get a Game 7 is gonna be awesome.
First Game 7 since 2020. So this is a big deal, very big deal. But my prediction for tonight, this is for both starting pitchers, because this is such an important game. Margin of error is little to none.
Yep.
Each pitcher will be on a short leash. I don't know who the Astros would go to if Javier gets shelled. Like we mentioned with the Rangers, I can see a Dane Dunning coming in if Scherzer gets shelled. I can see Andrew Heaney coming in if Scherzer gets shelled. But it's the big time. It's the big stage. These guys are pitching here for a reason. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, in terms, they could have Hector Neris. They may throw in Hunter Brown, the rookie, out there if Javier gets shelled at some point. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But we'll go ahead and move on to our next series, a series that may not get to a Game 7, and that is the National League Championship Series. The Philadelphia Phillies have a 3-2 series lead. Game 6 is tonight in Philly. It's going to be a rabid fan base and atmosphere out there in South Philly. So, like I said, it's taken a game longer than I initially said it would, but I think the experience of the Phillies is finally kicking in. And if I remember correctly,
here we go.
We'll get into the second part of your bet next week because we already talked about it. But someone owes me a starter pack of a Dubby for a specific reason. Sai, do you want to tell the people why that is?
So, for those who recall, last week I made a little bet that in Game 1 LCS, Zach Gallen would pitch a quality start, and that the Arizona Diamondbacks would win Game 1. And neither of that happens. So I'm a very sad man because I talked up a very big game, and well, you can look at the box score.
Yeah,
but yes, I do owe you a starter pack of W Energy. Thank you, W. Use code Duke on Thursday for 10% off. Slight promo. But yeah. As to do I think the kids survive? I'm really torn now. I wasn't torn in the beginning of the series. I was like, oh, they got it. But now I'm torn. Because unlike the Astros Rangers, where every away team has won. In this series of Arizona versus Philly, only the home team has won. And game 6 and 7 are in Philadelphia, and Philly is
Well,
pitching.
Philly won Game 5 in Arizona.
Oh, my source was wrong. My bad. But still, the odds are as stacked up against Arizona as it possibly can be. The Phillies have Nola on the mound tonight, who so far this postseason, I believe, is 3-0 with a sub-1 ERA. So my heart tells me that the Diamondbacks can force the game 7. They can be the underdog like they've been this whole series. But my brain is telling me that Nola's probably going to go 7 shutout tonight and prove why the St. Louis Cardinals are going to give him an absolute bag in the offseason. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's shout out to the Diamondbacks again, a team that maybe should have been here because they probably should have been the 5 seed and they would have had to face the Phillies in the wild card round. They probably would have lost that. So they get that, and then they ended up having to play the Dodgers instead of the Braves. So I think they would have given the Braves a run for their money, but I think the Braves would have been able to take care of business. But you still got to play the games, and you still got to win. Diamondbacks have been awesome this entire postseason. Corbin Carroll, Merrill Kelly, except for Game 1, Zach Gallen has been really good. Again, there's some teams that are just a buzzsaw. And honestly, for all the talent, and I know I'm going to get Braves fans that are going to come from my neck, the Philadelphia Phillies are a better team than the Atlanta Braves.
Correct.
Like, I know that may not be the hot take I'm initially thinking it was, but yes, the Braves were incredible all regular season long, and yes, they almost set the home run record in a regular season. I think they tied it was like the 2019 Twins and all this kind of stuff. They don't show up except for 2021. They don't show up when it counts. The last 2 years, they've lost to the Phillies in the playoffs, in the division series. And I just think the Phillies have a much better mix of a more balanced roster. They got their star hitters. They got a couple of star pitchers. Yeah, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber have been amazing. And I feel like they have a much better bullpen than the Braves do. So yeah. I'm enjoying this Phillies run again. Much less of an underdog than they were last year. And also just because the Phillies have 3 former Cubs on the roster in Schwarber, Castellanos, and Kimbrel. So it's been fun to watch them. I think they will take care of business. I did look it up. Aaron Nola is 3-0 with an 0.96 ERA this postseason. He will easily get, I think if he continues this, he'll get $250 million from his next team. I think we're nearing that territory. I think before the start of the postseason, it was probably closer to 100, 150 million. I think he's at least raised it to that 250 million dollar, at the very least, 175 million. But he's been really good. So I think he's going to take care of business against Mr. Merrill Kelly, who's been pretty solid. He's 1-1 with a 3 ERA this postseason, but again, he's run into a buzzsaw.
The whole Diamondbacks team has run into a buzzsaw, and if I'm being honest, as the one who did say Diamondbacks 6 from the get-go, I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Yes,
don't quote me. This series should have been over 2 games ago. The Diamondbacks have had 2 come from behind wins in Arizona because an insert Craig Kimbrel.
Yeah.
Well, he's blown 2 games so far. That Ketel Marte walk-off shouldn't have even happened in the first place. They should have lost that game. Then they had one other come from behind win. So it's just I love the fights that the Diamondbacks have brought because they're not supposed to be here. Let the kids play, but they are simply simply overpowered. When Zach Gallen gets shelled like he has been getting shelled, and that's supposed to be your ace, that says something.
Yep.
So
Kind of.
I fully expect the Phillies to take Game 6 tonight. As much as I don't want to say this, as much as I want to say that Alek Thompson is going to hit another go-ahead bomb tonight, and that Ketel Marte is going to keep doing what Ketel Marte does, and Corbin Carroll is going to steal 3 bases, it's not happening. And if it happens, I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong a lot recently, but it's just I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think the steam is running out. So before we take our first break, I think you have what we're gonna call our newest segment, and that's size underdogs.
Yes.
Every week, at least while the postseason is still going on, Mr. Sai over here is gonna give his parlay for the night. So let's go ahead and throw up on the screen for the fine people at home your parlay for tonight.
All right. So I spent a lot of time this morning. I will admit I did this morning. This was kind of last minute, but I spent a lot of time thinking to myself, what parlay would hit? What's realistically going to hit? So I came up with this beautiful 5-leg parlay. So it starts off, Corey Seager, higher than 2 hits, runs, RBIs. Corey Seager's a dog. This is Game 7. He also is someone who understands this whole spotlight, crunch time. Like, he knows the clutch up. And against Javier, who, yes, Javier's a good pitcher. Yes, he's had his good postseason. Corey Seager is the Rangers' version of the buzzsaw that this Astros pitching staff is going to sadly have to face tonight. So I have that. I think this one, because it's higher than 2 hits, runs, RBIs, I think it'll hit, but I do see this one being close.
Mm-hmm.
Max Scherzer, higher than 13.5 pitching outs. Like I alluded to earlier, clutch. This is where Mad Max and his crazy eyes shine. He only has to go 5 innings. He can let up 3-4 runs.
Yeah, 4 2/3 you can go. That's the minimum.
Scherzer I think, will hit this with ease, knowing that he's had his rough start out of the way, knowing that he's in the zone. He knows he's going out there to not his home crowd. He's going into Houston, and he is going to shove. Klaus Schwarber higher than half an RBI. That's a slam dunk.
He hits 1 home run, you're good.
Yeah. And he's hit 2 or 3 so far in the NLCS, and it's against Merrill Kelly, who he has success against. That's easy. Aaron Nola higher than 5.5 strikeouts. Another slam dunk. I believe the Nola and Schwarber one were the first 2 that I picked. So I'm like, this is easy money. Like, super easy money. Nola is going to probably get you 7 Ks tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The Diamondbacks offense is going to struggle outside of probably Ketel Marte because he's sneaky, and I don't understand how Ketel Marte does it, but that's not the point. I see this being a slam dunk. And then my last one, which I think it was Game 4. I bet the same one, Adolis Garcia, higher than 1.5 total bases.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a half a base off hitting it. And then last night he hits a grand slam. So my gut's telling me we try it again as the last leg of my parlay. And okay, if I'm correct, I put $3 on this. Like, this is a degenerate bet. Don't bet more than $5. If you are going to bet, please bet responsibly. I just started the bet, and even I know that you can get sucked into it. So please be careful what you do. don't go bankrupt on this. It's difficult. I've
Yes.
maybe placed 10 bets in this past week and I've won a single one. So I know it's difficult. That's why you don't bet a lot of money. And if it hits, then you are going to make some easy money. Because if all five of my legs hit tonight, I think I'm making $90. And this is a $3 bet. And it's underdog, and more people need to know about underdog. It's not just DraftKings. And I don't even know all the other ones. The other ones aren't important to me. If you're going to bet, use underdog. They are the guys. They aren't sponsoring us, but it's my personal favorite. I know guys in the TDT world who also use underdog. It's easy. You can pick. It's easy parlays. A lot of players can have up to like 5, 6 different options of what you want to bet on of higher and lower. Others, like the no-name guys, who only give you like 2 options what to bet on. Like maybe they hit an RBI, maybe they hit a single, but whatever. You can bet on literally anything. And yeah, those are my underdogs.
There you go. And just for people wondering, Corey Seager does have a 2-hit game in this series already. So
right. I forgot. I was looking at his stats. I forgot that. So I didn't want to make myself more wrong. But
so, but yeah. Yes.
If you
yes.
also haven't noticed about my amazing board, I only typically bet the higher because betting the lower is kind of boring. I understand if you do that here and there. I will bet the lower. I think I did one like Marcus Semien earlier in the series, and he hit the lower. But come on, if they're going to give you these low numbers, these are professional athletes. They know what they're doing. Bet the higher. That is all.
All right. Well, Cy, before people decide to bet, you know what they should get first?
Some dang good insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And we call our guy Jeff Wertepny at Building Block Insurance. Make sure to tell him that Third Down Thursday sent you, and that Cy and MJ and myself are all better at him at Call of Duty. So Cy, Now is the time. We've gone through most of our championship series. It's time for a little bit of some MLB rumor mill. Let's just get out one of the biggest ones out of the way. You sent this to me earlier this morning that Yoshimbu Yamamoto will be pursued heavily by the San Francisco Giants. I think that's a great fit. Personally, there is one other place I think he should go. If you can't tell where I'm pointing.
There is 2 other places I think he should go.
No. Yankees don't deserve another star Japanese pitcher.
But
they've had Ching-Ming Wang and Masahiro Tanaka. They're done. They've reached their quota.
Tanaka, it is in their blood. They're going to do something because Brian Cashman is Brian Cashman, and he does not care. His team sucked this year, and it's going to be money, money, money.
Yeah, he'll spend another crap ton of money, and he'll suck again, just like he did this year. He spent a ton of money on Carlos Rodon, and he was awful. He traded for Giancarlo Stanton a few years ago. He was awful this year. So I have no faith in the Yankees anymore, and especially in Brian Cashman. He should be gone. But as for the Giants, I think that's a good fit. They need another starting pitcher to combine with Logan Webb.
So good.
Yeah,
because outside of Logan Webb, they don't really have anybody. So,
I mean, I think their pitching is solid. They need a elite offensive weapon. I think obviously they tried to sign Carlos Correa. They tried to sign Aaron Judge. They need that star offensive player. They have a lot of good offensive players, but they need that star. But I think Yoshimbu Yamamoto, I think, is a great fit. And I'm glad you sent that to me. But also, there's another team that is in the same city as the hat you're wearing. That's the New York Mets. as according to Will Salmon of The Athletic, the Mets will be heavily going in for Yamamoto, especially with Kodai Senga also purportedly trying to recruit Yamamoto to the Mets. I don't know if he goes there because obviously there was that big report when Scherzer and Verlander got traded that the Mets are looking more for 2025 to actually compete. And at that point, you're basically admitting that you're wasting a season of just trying to figure out what you have. So it's interesting. I think it's an interesting spot for him. What are your thoughts with Yamamoto potentially going to the Mets?
There's two words. There's two words that make me that are the only way that I think not the Mets. Yamamoto will go to the Mets. Those words are Steve Cohen. He has unlimited pockets. He has the GTA money glitch in his back pocket. He does not care what he has to do. He will go to Yamamoto. He will say, "Here's 8 years. How much do you want? Put a number. I'll pay you it." With Senga being there, I also think that is helpful. But then again, okay, I'm going to throw my bias into the mix.
Oh, no.
The Cardinals have Lars Nootbaar.
Oh, my God.
Earlier in the week, earlier this week or last week, him and Nolan Arenado were at I forget what team Yamamoto plays for, but they were at one of his games watching him, trying to recruit him because Nootbaar has already come out here. Nootbaar has already come out here. He's trying to. He knows it's unlikely, but come on. I think at the end of the day, with Yamamoto, it's going to come down to where does he think he will best succeed. I do like San Francisco. I do not like the Mets. I can see him going to Yankees because of Brian Cashman. He sucks, but the Mets. If the Mets were successful this year, I would have a different point of view. But the Mets sucked this year, and with Scherzer and Verlander coming out and dissing on the Mets and saying they don't want to compete. Yamamoto's going to want to compete right away. He's in his prime right now. He is 25. He throws over 100 miles per hour. He has some of the most filthy pitches I've ever personally seen. He is going to succeed in the MLB because he knows he's going to succeed, and he is ace. He's an ace caliber pitcher. Yes, I know the transition. You don't know if the transition is going to probably work, but Kodai Senga was pitching to a 2.5 ERA. Kodai Senga became the ace of the Mets, and they had the same worries about him. Oh, is that forkball going to play in the MLB? Oh, is his fastball going to play in the MLB? It does. Yamamoto is arguably better than Kodai Senga. He will play regardless where he goes. He's going to want to succeed right away. If you want to succeed, don't go to New York. Point blank period.
Yeah, I think honestly a more realistic spot for him outside of San Francisco would maybe be like Seattle or the Dodgers. I think those would be some really interesting. I can see a world where the Dodgers sign Ohtani and Yamamoto.
I don't like that world, but I can see it too.
Because they need starting pitching. Obviously, Ohtani won't pitch until 2025, but they can always use more hitters. Jason Hayward's getting older. JD Martinez is getting older.
David Peralta's getting older.
Yeah, they need some younger arms and some younger players. So I think Yamamoto and Ohtani would be ridiculous. And the Dodgers have that spending history to make that happen. So wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, I hope Yamamoto goes to the Cubs. There was a whole article about it a few weeks back for Third Down Thursday. So please read that, and please Yamamoto comes to the Cubs. But we'll go ahead and move on from Yamamoto. According to the Athletics' Dennis Lin and Andrew Baggerly, Padres manager Bob Melvin has been granted permission to interview for the the manager spot for the San Francisco Giants. This is a lot of Giants in this MLB rumor mill. What do you think about Melvin to the Padres or to the Giants? I think it'll be interesting interdivision switcheroo there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how good of a manager Bob Melvin is. I mean, of all the talent they had with the Padres this year, they still didn't make the playoffs. They finished behind the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, especially the Dodgers again. So, like, I don't know. I just don't know how good of a manager he is anymore.
I'm I'm indifferent on it because Bob Melvin, he's a very mediocre manager. He did not succeed with a star-studded Padres team, which makes me wonder. And if I were Giants fans, worry if he gets hired, he's not going to have as good a roster unless the Giants go out and make some big-time move, which I just don't know. They're a very average team.
Mm-hmm.
The Padres and the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks are arguably all better than the Giants. So how are they going to compete in that NL West? I understand if they try to, but the Giants are in a hole that is going to be difficult to get out of because if you want to include them, there are 4 competitive teams in the Colorado Rockies in the NL West.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not? If Bob Melvin goes to the Padres, and that means the Padres then have to look for a manager. And I don't know who would manage the Padres if Bob Melvin leaves. Gabe Kapler? Probably not. Mike Shildt? That'd be entertaining, but he's also a bad manager, so probably not. I don't know. Melvin leaving the Padres just opens up more holes. So I'm indifferent. If it happens, it happens, but I'm indifferent.
Okay. I mean, personally for me, if you're going to hire someone, don't do a retread. If you're the Giants, you need to move in a new direction, and hiring a guy like Bob Melvin is not the way. Call me crazy. I think they should hire Alyssa Nakken. They already interviewed her for the managerial job. Um, I think that's the perfect way to go. I think she has the chops for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, again, it's the time for not only the Giants to move in a new direction, it's time for baseball to move in a new direction. I mean, you're seeing all over a bunch of other different sports, a lot more female coaches are being hired in the NFL. Becky Hammond is interviewed several times for head coaching jobs in the NBA. So I think it's time that Major League Baseball kind of takes that plunge, if you want to use that phrase of words. Return a phrase, whatever.
Take the plunge. It's a great terminology. I love that.
but yeah, no, I think it's time. I think it's time for that. 100%. A couple more things before we get to some Cubs and Cardinals related news. Jose Altuve, Mr. Astro himself, I think at this point, according to Bob Nightingale, they're hoping to get him to a new contract. His last year is 2024, and they basically want to get him to the end of his career with Houston, which makes total sense. Just what are you expecting from a potential like Jose Altuve extension? I think it's going to happen. I don't see Altuve going anywhere else unless next year the Astros just completely fall off and the Rangers and the Mariners come for them again. Because the Angels and the A's are going to be still a ways away, especially if Ohtani leaves the Angels. Just what are you thinking about Altuve extension?
5 years seems like the best number. It's money-wise where I can see as low as 150. I can see as high as 200 to 210. I think he's in his age 32-year season, I believe. So I can see a 33.
I think a 5-year deal is probably good.
180. Give him the money he deserves. It will, if 180 front load the contract, because that gives at least 2 to 3 more years that Altuve will be competent and properly like competing and stuff. So front load it, get the money's worth right away. So then when he tails off towards the end, they don't have to worry about paying him that much.
Yeah, so it looks like that currently he had a new deal that overwrote his old extension the last 2 years of his previous extension with the Astros and guaranteed him $151 million over the course of 2020 to 2024. So that was basically 4 years, $151 million. So they're looking for, it looks like another 5-year extension with the 2025 season would be the first year of that new extension would get him to age 39. And I think at that point, like 200 million or 175 million is, I think, perfectly reasonable and in his best interest as well. Speaking of the Astros, Brian Abreu was officially suspended and he's going to appeal it. He was available for Game 6 last night after the benches clearing brawl between the Astros and the Rangers. Let's see, any other updates? Yep. Okay. Looks like, according to Ken Rosenthal, he hasn't officially appealed his 2-game suspension. If appealed, the suspension would begin immediately following a settlement with the Players Union, blah, blah, blah. Had previously reported that Abreu had officially appealed the suspension and hearing that it would be scheduled tomorrow before Game 7. So, a lot of stuff going on. You probably know better than me, and for people who didn't watch, what happens and what caused this benches clearing brawl between the Astros and Rangers?
It was a supposed intentional, like, inside pitch that was thrown out. I think it was Adolis Garcia. Let me double check.
Because someone threw out a stat that it took him like 14 seconds to round the bases after he hit a home run.
Yeah. So Abreu came out and threw a high and in fastball that either almost or did completely plunk Garcia, and Garcia was not very happy about that, and they charged at each other. Benches cleared. It was all just very quick. That's the best way I can put it. Like, if you looked away, you look back, you don't know what was going on. That's how fast it happened. But now I hate that I'm agreeing with this, but I do truly believe that Abreu, that was not intentional. That was an accident. Like, yes, I battled Texas. The tensions are going to be high because it's winner goes World Series, but pitches do slip. As someone who used to be a pitcher when I played baseball, I understand how it all works, and it slips. If your hands get too sweaty, if anything out of the ordinary happens, that ball slips out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't believe it was intentional, because knowing that he can be suspended and knowing that this team is going to need him if the series keeps going on. If this was like a regular season game, by all means, I would be like, yeah, that's intentional. But this is the postseason. Abreu is one of the better relievers in that Astros bullpen. It's not intentional. It was an accident.
Yep, I think that you probably put it the best way possible. Also, to add a couple of more tidbits, our guy Trevor May, he officially retired last week and completely ripped into the Oakland A's, and deservedly so. I want to know, does MJ have to say anything about Mr. May retiring and what he said about the A's?
So, I mean, he's right. The A's are a joke of an organization. Like, it's ridiculous. We were talking to Thomas Harding on Third on Thursdays the other day, and because he's a Colorado Rockies beat writer, and the crazy thing is, like, the Rockies at least are willing to spend to keep their guys. They may not spend in free agency, but they will spend, like, they will pay their guys. They paid Charlie Blackmon. They paid Arenado. It didn't end up working out, but they paid him. Like, they're willing to do that. The Oakland A's don't even seem like they want to be a functional organization. And so when you have one of baseball's good guys in Trevor May, like, I've still yet to ever hear a bad thing about Trevor May. Anywhere he was, I mean, people in the video game community love him. Like, he is somebody that should not have a reason to just go blast an organization. And so for him to do that, there's no excuse that the Oakland A's can have. The whole dispute, no reason they should have to leave Oakland. Just your damn stadium. It's not that hard. Fix your stadium, be willing to spend a little money, and then maybe your fans and players won't put you on blast publicly. It's really not that hard.
Yeah, and I feel like even if they were going to move, you could still spend money on the team. Like, imagine, like, Vegas, like, you had Matt Chapman and all the stable of starting pitchers that they had, and Sean Murphy and Matt Olson, like
Marcus Semien. Yeah. All of the really good players that they've had. That'd be a great team to field in Vegas. A lot of people would go watch that. But that's part of the reason that Major League Baseball is kind of hesitant on them moving to Vegas. Hey, are you guys actually going to spend money once you get to Vegas? Like, are you actually going to do the thing? Because if not, just sit in Oakland. Just sit in Oakland and die. I'd rather, at this point, go be a freaking Padres fan and let the A's go to Montreal or something. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They make me so mad.
I'm sorry. I had to bring you on for that, but I'm so sorry.
And
like,
something I want to add. For the love of God, give that man a proper chair to sit in that's not broken. How are you going to continuously give this man a broken folding chair when you could go through any of the stadium and get him a chair that properly works? Like that is the most Oakland A's thing ever.
Also, just go to freaking Walmart. Go get him a lawn chair, for goodness sake. Like, it's not that hard.
Screw if John Fisher sell the team. I'm not even a fan of your team, but sell it. Dude, what are you doing?
Sell it.
You are embarrassed. Yeah. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing the team, and you won't even come out and be a man about it.
Well, when you have
the definition of hiding in the shadows.
When you have freaking Giants fans chanting "sell the team" with you in San Francisco, that's when you know that you're screwed. Like, that's when you know that you're done.
Yeah, that's
but he won't literally talk about it. He's gonna sit at his fancy old house with his fancy old yard and his fancy old pool and sip his fancy old tea and just let it all happen. He does not care.
I'm just as mad about this as I am. I love it.
Sell the team.
It would literally be
when nice guy Trevor May comes down and rips you when everybody else are ripping you. That's saying something. How are you messing up that bad that Trevor May, out of any person in the world, is ripping your team? Come out and be a man about it.
That's all we ask.
Admit you're wrong. And give this man a goddamn functioning chair. God.
I can tell the former pitcher inside is coming out about this with the
yes.
bullpen chair. So good.
How?
No, I totally agree with that. Like, it's just ridiculous if you don't give that man a chair.
You're gonna keep going with the chair, and he'll keep coming back, and it's there. Like why? How can y'all not unlock? As he said in his like interview today, whatever you want to call it. How can you not go and one of the 100 different closets and get him a chair that properly works? Why is it this chair? Why can y'all not afford to throw away this broken chair? Lord have mercy. That is your closer. That is your best pitcher in the bullpen. And he's sitting in a broken chair.
Best pitcher on the roster.
Yes. Actually, yeah.
And I quote, take mommy and daddy's money somewhere else. Sell the effing team.
Yes.
Oh,
Sell it.
I think that's pretty telling, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you don't have baseball players saying that very often.
No.
That's wild. That's just wild.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. Everyone complains here in Chicago about the Cubs and the White Sox and feeling like those teams don't spend money. It's a whole different barrel of worms out there in Oakland right now.
Yeah, we're not even playing the same sport.
No, literally, it's like everyone jokes when a team is bad, like, oh, they're basically a AAA team. Except for maybe like 5 to 10 guys, I think that you could consider the Oakland A's this year a AAA team.
It's disrespectful to AAA teams to compare the Oakland A's.
Hey, don't disrespect Brent Rooker. He's a stud. Ryan Noda.
I said 5 to 10 players.
Don't disrespect them. I'm just saying because I gotta put some respect on their name because they're like the only couple that can get respect. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm not an A's fan.
You could put the Savannah Bananas in Oakland, and they would play better.
Sellouts
than that
Sell
team
every game. Sell out every game.
Yep. Thank you for hopping on, MJ. I think we needed that.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for making me sad.
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling for you.
It's
I'm feeling for you. I'm feeling for you.
Enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Thanks. Oh, thank you for being a trooper about that. I completely forgot about all that until I just remembered. I just remembered a few minutes ago. So, wow, yeah, it's a sad state. Shout out to Trevor May for a great career. May you enjoy retirement. And hey, maybe come on Beer versus Ivy. We'd love to have you and talk about some of the things that you said. And completely agree.
I'm a Trevor May fanboy, so I would personally love that. But Jackson, you know what I think John Fisher needs?
What's that, Si?
I think he needs some W Energy. For those who don't know, Double Energy is a very, very special energy drink company that was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. They have no calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. They have all the vitamins and amino acids that you need. And, maybe, if old John Fisher had some W Energy in his system, maybe he would sell the team. Maybe he would come out and admit his wrongs. Maybe he would give Trevor May a working chair. Maybe there wouldn't be a reverse boycott in Oakland. But, he doesn't have any W Energy. But you, sir, are about to have some. Thanks to our sponsorship code, Third Down Thursdays. We get 10% off of all orders. And that's going to come in handy when I have to give you your sampler pack. Because Zach Gallen does not know how to throw a quality start.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to trying some of it. Have to take a look at it again, make sure it's all I can actually use it because food allergies and such. But
understandable.
But no, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and get to the last part of the show today, and we're actually going to focus a little bit on some Cubs and Cardinals discussion. We had this planned for last week, but obviously with a ton of postseason stuff going on, it had to be shelved for later. So here we are. We'll start with the Cubs. I think I talked about this when I was on Third Down Thursdays with MJ, not this past Thursday, but I think the Thursday before. The biggest question for every Cubs fan right now in baseball as a whole, essentially, where's the second best free agent hitter going to be next season? I guess Cody Bellinger, and I said this a few years ago when DeAndre Hopkins was getting thrown around in trade rumors, and I called it the cryptic after postseason, like social media post era or something like that, where it's just kind of like people are going to read way too much into things at every little thing these guys do. I mean, you had Cubs fans flipping out like a few weeks ago when Bellinger put on his Instagram, like thanking the team and the organization and his teammates for like a great season and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, and people were freaking out like, oh, he's gone, he's leaving, blah, blah, blah. Like, guys every year, well, I don't know, not every guy, but guys every year will like thank their fan base and the team, the organization, their teammates for a good year, and they'll look back and like all the success that they had. Like, I get it's different because he's a free agent, and people think it sounds like he wants to leave or something like that. But personally, I think it's stupid to look into this at some point. Where baseball is still being played. We haven't reached post baseball playing times. We haven't reached. We're nowhere close to the winter meetings. We're nowhere close to December and when free agency actually begins. So, and it's going to take a while for free agency anyway, because as we all know, Cody Bellinger's agent is Scott Boras, and he loves to drag things out with every single team. My first introduction to Scott Boras was with Chris Bryant and how tumultuous that got. So, and again, as I talked about in my piece for Third Down Thursdays, it was Pete Alonso just switched his agent to Scott Boras. So the Cubs actually want to trade for him and get an extension. They're going to have to deal with that evil man again. So I personally,
very evil.
Personally, I think Bellinger is probably back. I'm not sure. Obviously, there's been rumors that the Yankees or I think the Giants have been thrown in the mix as well for Cody Bellinger. I just think he stays. I think he loves the north side of Chicago. He loves Wrigley Field. I think he's played for some marquee teams. Obviously, this is only his second ever team, but he's played for the Cubs and the Dodgers, two of the most historic teams of all of baseball. So, and not to say some of those teams aren't. Obviously, the Yankees are, and the Giants have had a long history as well. But I just think with the success he's had and where this Cubs team can go if he stays and what it can be with other moves, I think it's in his best interest to stay. And I think the Cubs are primed to spend some big money. Tom Ricketts came out after the season and said basically not making the playoffs isn't a successful season. It's not a successful season. Despite everything we did, it's not a successful year, and we need to do more. So I was pleasantly surprised by that because I was not expecting that for Mr. Tom Ricketts, but
not many people were.
But what do you think? Do you think you're going to be seeing Cody Bellinger quite a few more times next year, or do you think he's going elsewhere?
I think that he does stay. I very much like 95% of me is like he's going to stay. But 5% of me can see him wearing the pinstripes for the next 5 to 6 years. I know Yankees fans want him. I know that it was rumored that before the Cubs like shut off the Bellinger trade rumors during the trade deadline past season, that I wouldn't have been surprised to see him in New York. And I still wouldn't surprise me to see him there, but because of the success that he had in Chicago and he revitalized his season. The old belly is coming back, and that's because of Chicago. So because of that, I do see him staying and re-signing to, I want to say, 5-year deal, maybe a 6-year deal. I don't know how much money Tom Ricketts is going to want to throw at Cody B, but I very much see him staying in the NL Central and probably terrorizing the Cardinals for a bit longer. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I think he's earned somewhere in the realm of $25 million plus per year. I think that's probably I think his max would probably be like $28 million annually. but I think he's obviously an amazing season last year, like the Cubs in home runs, batting average, and RBIs, and playing Gold Glove caliber defense. It's very rare that you get that. So let's go ahead and move on to some Cardinals stuff, because what are you gonna do with Oli Marmol? I think we had talked at some point last week. There's some stuff going on with Oli Marmol and the Cardinals. Do you wanna enlighten us?
I hate this team. We're going to start off with this. I hate this team, and I really do not like Oli Marmol. But the front office already come out and said that we're going to keep him at least one more year for 2024, which, yeah, okay, whatever. But it's interesting because in this past week, a fellow former Cardinal has had some talks with our front office about a possible coaching position being opened up for him in a Yadier Molina, which the interest there is mutual. Why is Bob on my screen? Ooh,
my
that's
bad.
scary. But there's interest of Yadier Molina possibly coming in to be a coach of some sort. They have not announced what. Makes a lot of sense as a bench coach, but I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm not gonna worry about the whole Yachty stuff. That'll play out if it plays out. The Cardinals dug themselves in the hole. Front office started to come out and said that they are going to stick with Oli Marmol, which he's not a good manager. He was an in-house manager. He's just like Mike Shildt. Cardinals fans did not like Mike Shildt. Yes, he brought us a couple NL championships, NL Central championships, but no success in the playoffs. Shocker. And Marmol's first season, and I think it was 2021, brought us. We got NL Central championship. Cool, great, whatever. Maybe it was 2022. It was 2022. I'm wrong. But next year is make or break.
Yep.
If it's a good year, they'll probably keep him on for a little longer. If it's a bad year, I see him being shipped out, which I want him to be shipped out regardless. But if the Cardinals succeed, which they will succeed because we're going to have a good offseason and we're going to get 3 starting pitchers and everything's going to be great, that's just manifestation. I can only fingers crossed because our front office is questionable. Let's just call them questionable. But we have at least more year of Oli Marmol. We'll see what happens. And I want him gone, but he won't be gone. If anybody's going to be gone, it will not be Oli Marmol. It will be John Mozeliak, because if he fires another manager, that's 1, 2, 3. That'll be our 4th manager in like 5 seasons or something like that. 5, 6 seasons. Like that. Firing Marmol puts a lot more of a bad rep on our team and our front office than keeping him low. So they're going to keep him. We've had success with him. This is only going to be his 3rd season, 4th season. Like, we gotta ride the wave. We gotta see what happens. And I'm okay with riding the wave as much as I don't like him.
Yeah, and I think we even talked about it like on our first show that we did like a mini power rankings for like NL Central managers.
He is number 5 in the NL Central.
Yeah,
David Bell is a better manager than him. And David Bell's not a good manager.
Yeah, it's a tough time. But there is just one thing I have to say here. As soon as it's done, that I have to say it's your claim that the Cardinals are going to have a good offseason.
Okay. I hope Cody Bellinger leaves. I hope he goes to New York. I hope Pete Alonso does not get traded. Whatever.
You knew that was coming.
I knew that was coming. You had the tower too. I knew it was coming, but still.
Oh, they should
You're
not
just
have
mad because Aaron Nola is going to shove for our team for the next 6 years, and you're not going to be able to hit him. You're just mad about that.
Oh no, we can't.
And you're
have a
mad that we
Cardinals
took Wilson
pick.
Chairs.
Oh, you can have him. I'd much rather have Young Gomes. He's actually good
I would not
defensively.
rather have Nolan Gomes. He's going to regress horribly next year. And don't act like Miguel Amaya is your so on sorts Lord and Savior. He's not that good
I don't know what
either.
you're talking
He's
about.
not that good either.
He was a rookie this year. Like he's
Oh my
not
goodness, he's still
Giovanni
not that good.
Soto.
Ivan Herrera is better. I don't want to hear it. Our
Who's
rookie
better?
catcher is our rookie catcher is better than your rookie catcher, and our rookie
Nah,
catcher barely
that's
had
foul.
any playing time. Let's
That's
talk
foul.
about
That's
it.
wrong. That's wrong.
Let's talk about it. Miguel
This-
Amaya is not that good, and he's not going to be that good. He's only going to start. Stop that. He's only going to start. He will start next year because Young Gomes is going to be, 37, 30? He's going to regress. He's going to. Got me mad now. Gotta hate the Cubs. Can't do this.
Oh man, I just
Whatever.
love this.
Whatever.
Man,
Screw your team and screw Marcus Stroman. I'm throwing Marcus Stroman in particular on the bus. I don't like him.
Marcus Stroman owns your poverty franchise. I hate to say
No.
it.
Mike Talkman actually owns our poverty franchise. Let's
Yes,
talk
he
about
does.
it.
Yes, he
It's-
does.
Not Marcus Stroman.
Oh, and the fact that you were the first team to give up a home run to Miles Mastrobuoni, just expert work out there by the
Man, with
Cardinals
our
pitching staff.
AAA pitching staff, it makes actually plenty of sense why that happened.
That's an insult to AAA pitching staffs. Come on now, let's be nice.
Hey, it's okay. Our AAA team was better than our actual team. That's why no one Arenado regressed, Goldschmidt regressed. Let's talk about it. Also, actually, before we move on, RIP to the streak. Nolan Arenado was not nominated
Oh
for a Gold
yeah,
Glove, which I believe ends his 11 or 12-year streak of being nominated or winning the Gold Glove award. So, yeah, RIP to him. But let's go Tommy Edman. That is my utility Gold Glover. He is the only one deserving to win it.
it was 10 years for Arenado. Since
Close
I thought about it, I just pulled it up here for the Gold Glove finalists. Lau, Mountcastle, Rizzo for first base, Dumont, Jimenez, and Semien for second base, Bregman, Chapman, Ramirez for third, Correa, Corey Seager is a top 3 finalist for Gold
Yep.
Glove.
And you know who isn't a top 3 gold? Hold on. You know who isn't a top 3 finalist for Gold Glove?
Who?
Bobby Witt Jr. has had the best defensive season
But
in a long, long time. He's not even
Anthony
nominated.
Volpe's there because he led all AL short. Corey Seager should not be out there. It should be Bobby Witt.
No.
I'm sorry.
It should be Bobby Witt, and Bobby Witt should win the Gold Glove. He's not even nominated. Let's talk about it. I think it's stupid. And a lot of people on Twitter, including Bobby Witt himself, thinks it's stupid.
Yeah, then we got Austin Hayes, Stephen Kwan, Dalton Varsho for left, Kiermaier, Luis Robert, Julio Rodriguez for center, and then Dolis Garcia, Kyle Tucker, and Verdugo in right. And then catcher is Jonah Heim, Alejandro Kirk, and Adley Rutschman. I think Adley Rutschman's probably going to win that. Let's see. Oh, look at that. For second base, we got Nico Horner for a Gold Glove finalist. And then look at that. We got Dansby Swanson at shortstop, and we got Ian Happ in left field. Like, oh, look at all the good Cubs players on here. And I know where's all the Cardinals players? I don't see anyone on here. What are you talking about? I don't see anybody.
My goat, Tommy Edmonds, on there, so I don't really care. Brendan Donovan will be on there too.
He's on there for
Brendan Donovan
utility.
getting injured. Exactly, because he played everywhere. Because he could be a Gold Glover at short or at second, but because our main utility guy, Brendan Donovan, got injured halfway through the year, Tommy Edman became said utility guy, and Mason Wynn took over at shorts, and average defender Nolan Gorman was at second when he wasn't injured. Or we had someone like Jose Fermin there, our poverty death.
Who?
Yeah, me too. Didn't know who he was. Believe me. So that later half of the year, and insert random name here was called up.
Yeah, it's a tough time. Oh my god.
That's okay. Nothing can get as bad as the New York Mets starting Rafael Ortega in center.
Well, I can't taste too much because the Cubs had Rafael Ortega starting in right field a couple of years ago after the trade.
Yeah, but now
deadline,
he's worse than he was in 2021, and he was starting for the New York Mets. Yeah,
this is true. This is very true.
With DJ Stewart and below average Jeff McNeil, and who else did they randomly have on this team? Mark Vientos, he's not that good.
Yeah.
Jonathan Arauz, he's not that good either. Like, LOL Mets. I just had to throw that in there. LOL Mets.
So,
okay.
Lol Mets, as always.
Always.
Well, you know what would have saved a lot of these teams some headaches is if they had this guy showing them some insurance. Cy, great show as always. It felt a lot longer than a week than the last time we recorded. It's kind of been a long week.
It really has been a long week.
So it should be a fun night. Diamondbacks and Phillies game 6 will be on at 4:00 Central, 5:00 Eastern, and then we got game 7 between the Astros and the Rangers at 7, 8 Eastern. Should be a lot of fun. Outside of your degenerate bets, what are you looking forward to most for tonight?
My degenerate bet to hit. I'm sorry. I needed to hit. I needed to hit. But I'm looking forward something monumental of sorts will happen in one of these games tonight. I can't say what. I'm not a time traveler, but I have a feeling in my tummy that something big, a big moment that people are going to talk about for a long, long time will happen in one of these games tonight.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be in this ALCS, especially depending on what happens in the World Series later on. I think that I would expect that too. So thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. And thank you to our czar and big boss man, MJ, for producing today. Lovely to have you on. Thank you again. Hopefully you have another day off of work and you can hop on with us again. It's always a pleasure to have you. So we'll be back next week, noon. Hopefully we'll have some guests down the line. I'm thinking of one that I just realized I have a good contact with. So I'll tell you after we're done here. But thank you again, everyone. We'll be back here next Monday at noon, as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace.